Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So for today's fun and games, we're back to the clock. In the previous episode, I'll leave a link below. I took this clock mechanism out because I broke it, and it's got an extra long shank on it, and the ones I'd ordered were a bit too short. So I ordered one that was supposedly a long shank, and you can see that it's still a little bit shorter than the previous one. So what I'm going to do is do a combination. So I'm going to see if I can actually use a router and make this a little bit neater and go down a little bit further so that the clock mechanism will actually go through. It does go through at the moment, but it only just pokes the actual hand section out, and I can't actually put the nut on it. So I just need to probably take out about 5mm, and that'll be plenty. So this is supposed to be a 18mm clock. So the actual, from the top of the mechanism to where the tip of the clock hands are, is 18mm, but not the actual shank. So the shank is only 10mm. So I probably need to go to like an 8mm gap on the hole that I've got, so that I can then put the actual nut on it to hold it in place. So my piece of wood is about 18mm. So I need to drop it down by 10mm from the top here. Alright, as you can see, I'm all set up here. I've got the depth stop set so that this goes down. I think it's about 9mm at the moment, so I'll just make sure that it's going to work first. I've also got the piece and stopper clamped here so that I don't run too far off the edge. So I'll put some earmuffs on, plug it in, and see what happens. Alright, that first piece seems to have gone okay. So now I'll just rotate everything. And reset again. Alright, we'll go again. I've run into an issue because these two screws are in the way. Alright, they're out of the way now. that's all done. Let's see if it actually fits now. So my first attempt at doing actual routing doesn't seem to be too bad. It's a bit off the shy side on one spot, but that's okay. Now, so that's up, and that's up the other way. There we go. And I actually have a fair bit of shaft through the shank there. Sorry, the shank through the hole for the thing there. Maybe I should have just done that in the first place. That's alright. Alright, now we'll put the nut and bolt on. Sorry, not the nut and bolt, there's only going to be a nut somewhere. This place has given me the hands all taped up to a piece of foam, which is kind of good because then it reduces the risk of it getting bent, but it makes it a bit challenging when you try and undo it. Alright, so washer goes on. And the nut. And we'll just give it a bit of a tweak with the pair of pliers. No idea how this is supposed to fit on. I assume it's just a push. There we go, that's one. That's two. And that's three. So now we have the clock, and that's quite happily adjusting. Oops, just need to tweak that a little bit. There we go. There we go, now nothing's hitting each other. Nice. Alright, so now we get to do what I was going to do last time, which is put the battery on it. Now, of course, I've got to be careful because I've now got the mechanism on there and I don't want to bend it. Let's grab a couple of bits of wood. Alright, so I've just moved the hand so that I can fit it around number one so you guys can see it, number two so I can see what I'm doing, and so that the hands aren't getting in the way of what I'm trying to do and end up squashing them. So first up, I'll just put this hook back on. Now we'll move on to this bit. And as per the last video, I was waiting for my battery holder to come. That's here, obviously. So what I'm going to do is just pull these wires out and swap it over with these ones. And this one's actually got a nice little screw hole in it, so I can literally actually just screw that to the back of that, and that'll sit in there quite nicely and be nice and neat. Or maybe I should go up the top. I go down the bottom, it'll make it easier to hang, and it'll sit out a little bit more from the wall. But if I put it up there, and it's going to catch earlier, so I'll definitely hang it down the bottom here, I think. Alright, so I'll just take these two wires off. There's one. And there's two. Make sure there's enough solder on there for the new battery terminals to go on. There's one soldered on. And there's the other. So before I go hooking it up to the actual clock, I'll just make sure that everything's working the way it should be. So we still have our 4 volts coming out of our battery there. So the battery's in the container now. And we have 1.4 volts coming out of the little regulator there. So now I'll take the battery back out and solder it into the clock and see if it works. So before I try and solder these in, I'm just going to scrape some material off these just to give it something to actually bite to. Alright, that's the negative one on. And there's the positive. Now I just need to screw this battery holder down. Alright, so the last thing I've got to do is stick this board in to the bottom of it. So what I said I was going to do was put just some hot melt glue in there. So here's one I prepared earlier. So I'll just put a dollop of that in there. And then we'll drop the board in there. And just wait for that to cool down, and then that should be set. Alright, that's all together. I'll just tidy up these wires. I'm just going to use a bit of electrical tape just to hold these sort of together. There we go, it just neatens them up a little bit. Alright, moment of truth. Let's put the battery in it, see what happens. Alright, look at that. 1 o'clock running off a lithium battery that'll keep it going for quite some time, I hope. maybe I'll report back once once it's gone flat and see how long it's lasted compared to like an alkaline. Well, that'll do that video for here. So thanks for making it to the end, and what do you think? Let me know in the comments what you think of that little conversion idea that I've just done, and I'll see you in the next one.